Okay, over to you there, not Andy.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Weirdness. I am Chris. I will be your Donjon Master today. This is episode 4 of my campaign, which is called Welcome to the Weirdness. I'm going to do a brief recap now, because it's been a while since we've played before, and we have a new character and player today. So, brief recap. If you don't mind sharing my screen, Dragons, can you do that? There we go. Okay. So, when last we left off, Lenny, the goblin, and Velwyn, the chilly human sorcerer, had traveled to the new continent of Sildaria, new-ish continent of Sildaria, uh, for their own reasons. On the voyage, they met and befriended Celine, who's a Yuan-Ti wizard, and also Divok, who's a humanoid palm tree, who I haven't drawn yet, and befriended the ship's cleric Leaf, who I have not drawn a good picture of yet. He's a Tempest cleric, and they all became fast friends. And they made it to the town of Hildenea, South Hildenea, where they spent the night at the Fish Pig Inn, where they met. Oh, here's South Hildenea, where they met the waitress slash barmaid Dulcia, who Leaf instantly had a huge crush on. And also the strange musician slash magic user Jack, who's very mysterious. And they also met Reyna, who's just a buff ass half orc. Doesn't carry any weapons around really, but she's a buff ass half
She's a
orc.
badass.
She's a badass. Spent the night there. In the morning, the town was attacked by something called a Raudar, which is this strange monstrosity that's just a confusing tangle of limbs, kind of moves like a tumbleweed, and it hurts your brain to look at it. It doesn't make any sense. One came from the south of town, and a group of town's guards defeated it with some really cool arrow stuff. You witnessed this. You made your way back towards the Fish Pig Inn to collect your stuff that you'd left there. And a second, slightly smaller Raudar burst out of the cobblestones in Hero Square and attacked you. And the party managed to kill it after a long battle that saw Velwyn get knocked unconscious and revived.
Yep.
Dulcia even helped out in the battle after she was knocked unconscious and revived. She knew a frostbite cantrip, and so she helped out a little bit. After that battle, you met Mr. Clancy Castle, the owner of the Fish Pig Inn and several other businesses in town. And in gratitude for saving the town, he gave you some platinum pieces, some tokens to ride the ferry across the river, and some spa tokens to use at the spa that he owns, which you guys then did. You went to the north half of Hildenea and had a nice, lovely spa day.
I want to point out that I think that they didn't ask for our tokens and we kept them.
Oh, actually, they did ask for the tokens.
Okay.
The ferry driver was a hobgoblin named Oakvor, who took your tokens, and then Lenny stole them back.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
So you had a spa day. Lenny stole back the spa token at the end of the day, only to later discover that in his coin purse was missing 50 gold pieces, and there was a receipt somehow magically in there for one spa token. While you were in the spa, at one point Velwyn snuck away, and I forgot to mention one thing. Before you went to the spa, while you were in the Fish Pig Inn still, a strange face appeared in the fireplace looking for retribution on someone named Barnabas, and Velwyn tried to convince the face that Lenny was actually Barnabas. It didn't stick. The face didn't believe him. The face was named Krolar, and the face went away. still looking for Barnabas, we assume. Also, before you got on the ferry, a wizard and an Arcana cleric bought the Raudar's skull from you guys for 140 gold pieces.
I remember
Um,
that now.
I think that's pretty much it for that. While you were doing the spa, Belwyn snuck away and convinced basically the whole town that Lenny was actually named Barnabas by contacting town criers and bards and everybody he could, spreading the word.
He's gonna get
Um,
his. I'm just saying.
you had a lovely lunch. You bought some stuff if you wanted to, and eventually you made your way back to the Fish Pig Inn in the evening to meet up with Clancy Castle, who requested a meeting. There, he explained that one of his caravans that ships this certain sparkly granite-like stone from a town to the east had gone missing. It never got to Hildenea. And he wanted to hire the party to form a search party with him to go looking for it. And after some discussion, the party agreed to be hired on. It was good pay, and it seemed like an adventure. And a couple of people, Leaf and Celine, were looking to go east anyway for their own reasons. So it seemed like a good idea. And that's where we left off. So you were all sitting around one table, and you all had agreed. Eventually, Clancy comes back to the table and says, "Well, I hope you've given it some thought. What do you think?"
You know, good pay is hard to come by sometimes, and you know when a good job just presents itself. Sometimes you just got to take, life by the horns and just go do the thing. So I think we're happy, there, boss, to go do the thing that you need us to do, and make that coin.
And Clancy kind of narrows his eyes and looks at Celine, and Celine just goes, "That's a yes. We're in."
Right, what she said.
Clancy goes, "Great. I'm happy to hear that." And he looks towards the door and goes, "Oh, good timing. Here comes one of the drivers." And Amador, if you could describe your character who walks into the Fish Pig Inn at that moment.
Yes. So a 6'7" Goliath with a bald head, gray stone-like skin, tattoos all over that kind of represent a cracking stone. Walks in, very simple dress, has a shield strapped to his back with a mace at a hip and a spear kind of going across the shield on his back there. And he would see the party, and then what's his name? One more time.
Clancy Castle. Yeah, he motions you over.
And I would go over, kind of stomping around.
Everyone, I'd like to introduce you to Boldar. He's one of the drivers on our excursion, on our search party. He'll be driving one of the wagons.
Yeah. Yep. I'll try my best to get you where you need to go.
Oh, I should say Boldar would be wearing he would be wearing mostly brown, and somewhere on his clothes would be the symbol of the Earth domain, which is a circle with 3 horizontal lines in the bottom half of it.
Okay. Yeah. Probably be like a tunic and then just a symbol. Kind of made in stone. Let's say that.
Damn, you're tall. Wow. Holy crap.
And the weather's pretty good up here too.
I got some really cool. Anyways, nice to meet you. I'm Lenny.
Nice to meet you too.
And everyone goes around and introduces themselves. "Hey, I'm Devok. It's good to meet you," says the humanoid palm tree. And Celine shakes your hand, and Leaf, the Tempest cleric, shakes your hand as well.
My hands are slightly dusty, just so you guys know.
Cool. Clancy goes, "Great, I'm glad that's settled. You guys talk amongst yourselves. Lenny, I needed to talk to you over by the bar, if that's all right."
Yeah, man, sure.
All right. So he leads you over to the bar. He kind of grabs you and helps you up on a bar stool.
Yeah, thanks. What's up?
Well, Oakvor told me that the tokens, the fairy tokens that I gave you guys that you paid him with, mysteriously went missing after you left the boat.
Well, I may have jingle jangled his pocket a little bit. I do apologize. You know, it's hard to put old habits behind sometimes. You know.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and he holds up your coin purse.
Wow, that's impressive.
I rolled a 22 on sleight of hand
Yeah,
for him.
yeah. 15 passive insight. So, or yeah, passive insight.
He says, it's a good skill to have, and I'm not one to judge. And he switches into thieves' cant. So to everyone else, it sounds like he's just talking about like a type of beer and the weather and all sorts of mundane stuff. And he basically says, you know, he was a bit of a hellion in his youth. He reaches in, he like pulls the fairy tokens out of the coin purse and hands it back to you. And he says, just be mindful of who you're swiping from. You know, there could be consequences, and you don't want to make enemies out of friends. But he's happy to have someone with that skill on his team.
You know, I really appreciate that. You know, growing up, I didn't have a lot of direction. And so, you know, when I found the fellas at the end of the dock down here that one time, you know, they taught me a lot of life skills. And I'm just now, I think, maybe coming into my own with some of that stuff. But you know, it's really cool to get to know somebody who's kind of like a little bit like me.
You do remind me of myself many, many, many years ago.
I'll tell you what. Let me make it up to you. Number one, we're gonna do a bang up job, on this trip. Second, and he's gonna like reach into like a just a little pocket in his leather like jacket and pull out a single gold piece and just slide it across the table to the keep on the other side and be like, "I'd like to buy this man a drink, please." In common.
And he leans forward and says, you do know I own this place. I drink for
Yeah.
free.
Yeah, but you know what? The fellow back here, you know, they got to make a living too, and I know you're paying them, but you know, this is
Yeah.
my way of paying back a little bit.
He turns to the barkeep, who's just like middle-aged human guy, and says, it's a tip. The guy goes, thanks, Mr. Castle.
I'll switch back to Thieves' Cant and be like, I appreciate the conversation, and we'll get started on your task here real soon.
Yep. Let's get back to the table. And make a perception check, actually.
That is going to be not great. In true Dragon's fashion, that'll be a 7.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Perfect.
You come back to the table. Clancy clasps his hands and goes, we leave tomorrow morning. It's 2 days ride to the next town, which is Fintonpire. There's a stop. First night we'll stop at the Hotel Riviera on the way, about 25 miles in. Fintonpire is about 50 miles. So we'll meet at, what did I call it? Marlance Fountain Square in North Hildenea, and we'll depart from there. 8 o'clock in the morning.
I need to find something to write. One.
Here you go. I got a pencil for you.
Hey, man, thank you. Appreciate that. Man, I even changed colors. Look at that.
And you
All right,
guys,
can you put that in the chat or spell it for me real quick?
oh yeah. You guys pass through a square with a big fountain in it on the way to the spa.
Gotcha.
And Boldar, you know where this is. You've been in Hildenea for a couple of months now. So.
Mhm.
All right, cool.
Well,
We will meet you there.
all right, everyone, enjoy your stay here at the Fish Pig. And I will see you, I'm going to meet you there in the morning. And he leaves the Fish Pig in. And the waitress, Dulcia, comes over to you and is like, did you guys take the job?
Yeah, we took the job, and we're going to do a hell of a job with it.
Great,
No pun
that's great.
intended.
Clancy's a great boss. Just stay on his good side.
I think him and I are going to have a good understanding going forward.
Great. Awesome. All right. I'm going to get back to work. Let me know if you need anything else.
Sure. Can I do one quick thing just before we leave this space and maybe Clancy gets away from us too far?
Oh yeah, sure.
Can I just make like an investigation check? I want to start like taking notes about what he's wearing and like just how he handles himself, like pretty much anywhere he goes. So I would like to periodically do that on this trip. So I would like to start that now.
Yes.
Just looking for like any like, does he sneak things in any special pockets or just little interesting things like that.
Sure, you can make an investigation or an insight check, whichever one you want.
All right, I'd love to. Let's see. Insight is fine.
I can tell you more about specifically what he's wearing.
Yeah, insight. I'm going to do insight. That is going to be a 24 total.
Yeah, that's great. So Clancy seems, for the most part, on the up and up. Like he seems like he's a straight dealer. He says what he means. It seems like he's not always. There's more that he could say, but he keeps it simple. But he holds himself very straight. He's not very bulky, but he's got like this wiry strength to him. Even though he's probably in his late 50s, he takes really good care of himself. He wears a white long sleeve shirt with a red overshirt on it that has this symbol on it. If you want to share my screen real quick, I did a really crappy sketch earlier today. It's two crescent moons back to back with 4 diamonds with mountains, trees, cactus, and water in them. And he wears an overshirt that just has that big on the front, and it's in red and gold.
Okay. All right, cool.
Oh,
I'll just periodically do that, by the way. Oh, I think we lost Chris. Maybe he hit the wrong button. Hello, Internet. My name's Lenny. I'll be taking over for just a moment.
This is the Lenny and Boldard show.
That's right. So I would assume at this point, after I've kind of clocked some of this stuff, that I would make my way back to you guys.
I got kicked out for.
Oh, hey. Welcome back.
What did you just say, Lenny?
I said, welcome back.
Okay.
And I was walking after kind of making my little investigation or whatever. I'm going to make my way back to Boldar.
Okay. Anything you guys want to do before you turn in for the night?
I turn to Leaf. Is Leaf still here?
Yeah.
Be like, I am gonna go out for just a little bit. Do you need anything while I'm out?
No, I'm fine. Just don't stay out too late. We gotta get up early.
Oh, I just need to go. I need to go get something real quick. It's super important to me. I won't take me very long. I'll be back in just a little bit. If you could just cover for me for a little bit. If anybody asks where I'm at, I'll be right back.
Okay, no problem.
Cool. And Lenny's gonna go out the door.
All right.
Boulder is gonna look at Leaf, this person that Lenny was just talking to, and kind of speak up and say, "Should we be concerned where he's going?"
Uh, I, I'm not going to let it worry me. He'll do his own thing. As long as he's at the fountain by 8 o'clock, it should be fine.
If you say so. If you say so.
Hey, one cleric to another, because he sees your Earth domain symbol. What's it like working for Clancy?
What is it like working for Clancy? Other than he might be a good boss.
He seems like a good boss. I mean, he pays you well. He doesn't ask more of you than you're willing to give.
Okay. He's all right. He hired me and pays me, and sometimes he even feeds me. I can't complain, truthfully.
All right, sounds good. Let's follow Lenny now. Lenny, where are you going?
Okay, I need to go probably to a market, or I don't. What time? What time is it right now?
It's getting close to 8 o'clock at night.
Okay, could be a long shot, but I'm gonna attempt to swing through the market.
Okay, so that would be heading back west towards the docks. You guys kind of walked past a place that had like
Okay.
a marketplace, an outdoor marketplace going on.
I'll tell you what I'm after, and you can tell me just kind of like how far I need to go.
Sure. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for some off ends of like really expensive wood, but I don't need a lot. I just need like, if there's a master carpenter or something that like, or a stave maker or something. I just need some small pieces of really elegant wood.
There's lots of construction going on in the town because people are always building houses and stuff.
To couple with that, I need some like brass, probably brass.
Okay.
Some small pieces of brass.
You can find pretty easily a really small blacksmith shop in South Hildenea, kind of up towards the river. Not too far from Henrietta's Herbs that you went to in the last episode.
Yes.
You bought your
so
poison
good.
supplies from.
Yes. So good. Okay. So I just need, like I said, just a couple of small pieces of each of those products to start. And then after that, I need to find a small package of like chicken feathers or something like that, and some pitch.
There's some chickens out back of the Fish Pig Inn.
Sweet. And I need pitch.
Mm. Where do you find pitch?
I don't know.
I don't know either. We'll say you find it, no problem.
Okay. So those are the things I need, and then I will go back to my room. But I want to make sure that nobody sees me go back to my room.
Okay, make a stealth check.
That's going to be a 26.
Yeah. By the time you get back, it's close to 9 o'clock. The rest of the party has gone up to their rooms. Boldar, you have a place to stay at the Earth Temple in South Hildenea if you want to stay there, or you could stay at the Fish Pig with everyone else.
I'm going to stay in my temple.
Okay. I call it a temple. It's pretty much just a big dugout hole in the ground that's covered by like a domed earthen roof with some like rooms in the back that are dug into the ground, and it's all like bare earth.
I live in a hole.
Basically, that's kind of what earth temples are like. They're underground places where people can commune directly with the earth.
Hey, DM.
Yeah.
Is Velwyn staying here tonight?
Velwyn is staying here tonight. He's staying in a room with Devok. Celine and Reyna are staying together. You are staying in a room with Leaf.
Perfect.
And I'm not actually sure where Jack would be staying. Jack has been very kind of quiet.
Probably to himself.
Evening. He seems like he has something going on. But yeah, he's not his usual kind of
right.
outgoing weirdo self. That he
After
has been
everybody goes to bed, I have something I'd like to do.
Okay,
We good?
good.
All right. I would like to sneak out of my room. I would like to sneak into Velwyn's room.
Okay.
And before I go in there, I'm going to fashion a very crude bag that when you pull on a string, it opens the purse strings of the bag like to the outside. Okay.
Oh, I see.
And I'd actually like to fashion 2 of these bags. One, I'm going to put some of that tarry nasty pitch in, and I'm going to kind of do it in like a piggyback fashion so that it pulls one and then the other.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
it's going to release the pitch
comes out,
first,
and
then the feathers. Okay. So I'm going to wait till they go to sleep, and I'm going to tie that hopefully just to get Velwyn. That's the game here.
Yeah.
And then when he pulls the covers back in the morning, this triggers my trap, and it's going to.
Okay, let me pull up.
So you tell me what you need roll-wise for that.
First, of course, you'll need a stealth roll.
Okay. Let's do that. Let's get that out of the way. Do I have any? I don't think I do.
Let me open my notes
All right.
here.
All right. Yeah. Here we go. Ooh, not bad. Not bad. Stealth. That's going to be a 21 for stealth.
Okay, that's higher than anyone's passive perception, and plus they're asleep. Devok, the palm tree, sleeps standing up, and he folds into himself so that you cannot tell that he's alive. It just looks like there's a palm tree in the corner of the room, about 6'1" palm tree, just off in the corner
Beautiful.
of the room. And Velwyn is really bundled up because he gets cold.
Okay. So
I
got one more thing that I'm going to add to this contraption. I just want to look for Velwyn's boots or shoes or whatever he wears.
Okay, yeah. I assume it's boots.
Okay. I am going to take a couple of feathers. And you know how most feathers are like a quill? It's kind of pointed on that end. I'm going to break a couple of those off, and I'm going to like strategically place them in his shoes. Like
so when he steps in, it's
Yep. Just
all
like
right,
that.
I love it. So first I want you to make an intelligence roll to see if you can figure out how to successfully architecture this thing into the room so it'll work.
This is a +0 to this, so here we go, kids. Oh! I am a god! It's a natural 20.
All right. You can.
Holy shit, that's crazy.
You can make this exactly how you imagine it. I just need you to make a sleight of hand roll to see if you can do it without waking Velwyn up.
Got it. Sleight of hand. Oh, that's not bad. Not bad. That is going to be a dirty 20.
Okay, yeah. So you skillfully and completely silently fashion this drawstring bag trap above Velwyn so that when he pulls the cover, it'll pull the string and pitch will come out and feathers will come out.
Beautiful, and I would like to go to bed.
Okay. You go to bed. Sunrise. I should say for Amador and for Dragons, if you've forgotten, it's the middle of May, the equivalent of in this town. So you guys went to bed on about Wednesday, May 18th. So now it is Thursday, May 19th, or the equivalent of in this world. So sunrise actually starts at about 5:30. But if you want to get to Marlins Fountain Square by 8, you should probably get up by 6, get ready for the day, have breakfast at 7, catch the ferry over, that kind of stuff. So let's say you all wake up at 6. You hear very loudly, "God damn it!" And then You hear a door crash open. You hear stomping go down the hall to the water closet at the end of the hall, and the door slams shut.
Beautiful. I'm just laying there with my arms behind my neck, just like this, just grinning my big ass goblin grin.
Leaf sits up and looks at you. Don't tell me. Don't. I don't. I don't want to know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't want to.
Been here the whole time.
So you get your leather armor on. Leaf gets his scale mail armor on and his tabard over that has the Tempest symbol on it.
Should we find some breakfast?
Yeah, breakfast is downstairs.
Oh, let's do that.
So you go out into the hall, and Celine is like banging on the door to the wash closet, going, "Would you hurry up, Bellwin? You're taking forever today."
Problems? I call down the hallway.
He's just taking forever today. I'll meet you guys down there. It's fine.
Sounds great.
So you go down. Reyna and Divok are already down there. Jack comes down a little while later. Still, he seems kind of quiet and reserved, kind of like he's thinking about stuff. The goblin, Larry, eventually comes out, brings everyone breakfast, served by the Ellis, the gnome waiter who you had the previous morning. Same guy. Mary, who had the night shift, also baked a bunch of rolls again because she gets bored during the night shift because nothing happens.
Sure do love me some rolls. That's just perfect. Thank you so much.
Eventually, Belwyn comes down the stairs. He looks fine. He's cleaned up. He has prestidigitation, but he's got kind of a scowl on his face, and he's narrowing his eyes at Lenny quite a bit.
I'm just eating my breakfast, minding my own damn business. I don't know what happened to you, but you're late.
Whatever you say, Barnabas.
Just keep poking that bear as I saw my sausage in half.
Oh, and also, I forgot about this. You guys also stole a spa robe.
You might be right. I think
I remember this. And then Belwyn actually got it and put it on.
That's right.
So
is he wearing the spa robe?
He's not. He hands you a note. And the note says, "We hope you enjoyed your time with the exclusive Phoenix's Ashes spa robe that you borrowed. If you would like to enjoy it further, we invite you to join us again." And he says it disappeared in the middle of the night.
Man, this got a tight ship around here. Man. Got to keep taking notes. All right.
The front door opens, and Dulcea comes in, and she's carrying this little box, and she sees you guys at the table, and she goes, "Oh, there you guys are. This was actually left for you at our doorstep last night." And she hands it to you, Lenny.
Can I check it for traps?
Go for it. Make a perception check.
That is going to be a 15.
Looks clean. You don't see anything obvious.
I shall open it.
Okay. There are small, like 1.5 inch tall, crudely carved wooden figurines that kind of represent all of you guys. There's a little Lenny, a Velwyn, a Divok, a Celine, a Leaf, a Dulcea, and is that everyone? All 8. The 8 of you guys who fought the round are. And there's a small knife in the bottom of the box, and a little scrawled piece of paper that says, "Thank you." And then it's signed Koru, Korru.
Should I know this name? Should we know this name?
You've not heard it before.
Okay.
You can ask somebody if you want.
Anybody know who Koru is?
Dulcea says, "Oh, Koru's the chief of the Kobold community underneath Hero Square.
Oh, the one that we sort of kind of, we helped out.
Yeah, he
Okay.
that Raudar
Yeah. Yeah,
attacked
that's
his
cool.
community, and then you guys killed it. And
Yeah, look at these things.
he must think you got revenge on it for him.
These are pretty cool. I like that. I take mine out of the box and I just kind
And Divac goes,
of
"Yeah, pass those around."
admire.
So everyone gets a little figurine of themselves, except for Boldar. I'm sorry, who was not there.
I'd
Did
like
not
to
help out
put.
in the fight.
Is this little case? Is it semi ornate or is it just very
No,
bland
it's
and plain?
very basic.
Okay, I'll just put it in my pouch.
Yeah, it's only like 5 inches by 3 inches.
It's all good. It's all good. You never know when you might need a little case for something.
Okay.
Actually, gotta
Anything
put that
else you want to do in South Hildenea before you head north?
I do not DM.
Okay. Since no one else is here, you all head north. You catch the ferry, and you head back up to the Fountain Square, Marlitz Fountain Square, where you passed through the day before. And as you're approaching the square, you see, to your surprise, that it is packed. There's a huge crowd of people, all ages, all species, filling like the near half of the square. It's probably close to 2,000 people packed in there.
Oh,
This is a big
geez.
square. It's like a couple 100 feet in each direction. And they're all looking away from you inwards towards the fountain in the center of the square.
Wow. Okay.
And the back end of the crowd, as you approach, is made up mostly of like taller species, like your minotaurs, centaurs, loxodons, a couple of more bald, tattooed, gray-skinned Goliaths, who are not native to this planet, so they're kind of rare. And as you're coming up behind the crowd, one of the loxodons turns and sees you, and he calls out, "They're here!" And the entire crowd turns and looks at you and immediately parts. So there's a clear walkway all the way up to the fountain, about 100 feet in. And you see, standing on one side of the fountain is the entire troop of Townsguard that you watched kill that first Raudar on Wednesday morning. And on the other side of the fountain, you recognize that kobold chief, standing with about a dozen or so other kobolds from that community under Hero Square. And standing on the lip of the fountain is the female halfling mayor Glenda Goodberry, who you met the day before. And she's standing on the lip of the fountain, and next to her, standing on the ground but still much taller than her, is the Leonin captain of the guard, who you briefly saw, and several other, like maybe 3 or 4 kind of important looking people. Like they're wearing official looking robes, and some of them have sashes. And now that the crowd is parted, Mayor Goodberry sees you guys, and she raises a small metal rod to her mouth that has a black orb affixed to its top, and she speaks into it, and her voice is heard clearly throughout the entire square as if she was standing right next to you. It's basically a magic microphone. "Ah, here they are, my good people of Hildenea, and right on time. Please welcome the heroes of Hero Square." And the entire crowd looks at you and starts enthusiastically clapping. There's like a couple of thousand people clapping for you.
So Lenny's gonna look at Velwyn, gonna look at Boldar, gonna look at Dulcea.
Boldar's not here yet.
Oh, okay.
I should have mentioned that. He's coming separately.
So I look at the troop and I'm like, I'm waving, smiling as I'm slowly walking towards the fountain. I'm like,
the mayor it like beckons you guys.
Kind of put my hand up to my mouth a little bit. And I'm like, guys, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this?
Sling goes, "Let's just go with it. Let's see what's happening."
Okay, a little nervous. Lenny's a little nervous around crowds. Okay. Here we go.
Devok's like, it'll be cool. This seems like a good thing. All right. And he like puts a hand on your shoulder, Lenny, as you're walking.
Why do I get this very like Aladdin feeling all of a sudden? Like I'm gonna jump up on oh my god, I just had a total brain meltdown. The palm tree, what's his name?
Divak.
Divok. I'm gonna jump on Divok's shoulder and just put my hand kind of like wherever his head would be.
All right, yeah, you can do that.
I'm waving at everybody
he'll
like,
gladly carry it.
hey, yeah. I see a little kid, I wave and smile.
A couple of the town's guard who are up by the fountain raise those big heraldry trumpets. They
Yep.
start belting out a heroic
Make
sounding
way
tune.
for our troop that doesn't have a name yet.
Some of the crowd is like throwing confetti at you guys as you're walking. The crowd is cleared like a space kind of in front of the fountain, in front of the mayor. And the front several rows of this crowd you can see as you're approaching are made up of the smaller species, your halflings, gnomes, goblins, and a bunch of kids of all different species. You can see up on the roofs around, there's like Aarakocra and Owlin looking down. And there's like a couple of fairies sitting up on one rooftop looking down at you. As you step into that open space, you see on your right, towards the front of like the medium-sized creature part of the crowd, you see five people who you recognize actually. You see Boldar, you see Clancy and Dulcia are standing there, and you see Clancy's assistant, the gnome woman Brenna, who you briefly met once, and you see Clancy's adopted daughter, the Tabaxi Mercy, who you also briefly met, if you remember that. Clancy sees you guys and he kind of smiles and gives a little shrug. And Dulcia just is like beaming with pride at you guys. She looks so happy for you guys. The mayor then points at Dulcia and beckons her forward as well. And she looks surprised and she looks over at Clancy and Clancy's like, go on. And so she kind of hesitantly and surprisingly shyly steps out into the aisle as you guys are passing next to Celine, and Celine kind of links arms with her, like Pat reassures her. And Mayor Goodberry motions for y'all to come up to the fountain and then turn and face the crowd.
So I do as such.
You all do that, and she takes the microphone away from her mouth and says, so that only you guys would be able to hear, "Smile and wave, please. These people are here to see you." One of the town's guards there steps over to the kobold chief and offers him a hand so he can step up onto the lip of the fountain next to the mayor, so that they're the same height, so the kobold isn't tiny down there. Another town's guard offers his hand if you want to get down next to the mayor from Divok, or if you want to stay up there.
Yeah, sure, my good man, thank you.
All right, so it's the mayor, Lenny, and Chief Koru all standing up on the lip of this fountain. You see Celine lean in towards Velwyn, and you hear her go in his ear, "Don't you dare try to pull any pranks up here. I mean it." And then leans away from him. And the mayor puts the microphone back up to her mouth and addresses the crowd. "It is not every day that we honor heroes here in Hildenea, but yesterday was not just any day. After more than 8 years with no Raudar sightings, our beloved town was endangered by not one, but 2 Raudar. These foul monstrosities would surely have maimed and killed countless citizens of our fair city, were it not for the actions of these 3 groups of heroic people who stand before you today. First, Captain Paul Longclaw and his town's guard. You all skillfully slayed the first Raudar before it could even enter our city." And at that, one of the dignitaries next to the mayor steps up and he has a small chest that he pops open. And the mayor reaches in and pulls out a medallion, a little medallion on a wide ribbon. And she says, "The grateful people of Hildenea present to you and your entire troop these medals of valor." And Captain Longclaw bows, and the mayor slips it over his big, luxurious mane. And he straightens back up and shakes the mayor's hand, and you can imagine this gigantic golden paw just completely enveloping this tiny little halfling woman's hand. Um, the crowd and the town's guard all out mighty cheers and applause at this, and the mayor turns the microphone around and holds it out to Longclaw, who looks genuinely surprised, and he hesitates for a moment. And a few of the town's guard behind him start chanting, "Speech, speech, speech!" And the whole crowd immediately picks it up, "Speech, speech, speech, speech!" And he takes the microphone and he gives like this withering look to the people who started the chant. But then he like stands up straight, squares his shoulders, big, broad shoulders. This is a big, handsome dude. And he says, Mayor Goodberry didn't tell me there'd be speeches. And the crowd kind of chuckles at that. But I and the rest of the town's guard are humbled to receive this honor. It is our sworn duty to protect you, the good people of Hildnea, and I am grateful that through our training and our steadfastness, we were able to do so. It was all in a day's work for us. And he turns to the rest of the town's guard. You hear that? I don't want these mellows going to your heads. And the crowd laughs at that, and he hands the microphone back to the mayor. And the person hands the little chest to Captain Longclaw, and he starts putting medals on all of his town's guards as the mayor takes the mic and says, "Secondly, to Chief Koru and his kobold community, you and your clan have been valued members of our city, masterfully carving out our subterranean tunnels, sewers, our basements, and storage rooms. Your expert engineering has benefited us all, and I give my deepest thanks to Mr. Clancy Castle for bringing you all into our community." And she gestures towards Clancy, who kind of waves and nods. "When an unprecedented second Raudar clawed its way into your homes under Hero Square, you all bravely and selflessly took up your axes, your picks, and even your shovels, and interposed yourselves between the monster and the surface above. Two of your own family members, unfortunately, made the greatest sacrifice of all, giving their lives to protect us all." And one of the dignitaries hands the mayor a small metal plaque, which she holds. "To honor their sacrifices, their names, Kekra and Nokru, and their heroic deeds have been engraved into this plaque, which will be installed in the base of the statue of Hero Square, so that your heroic deeds will forevermore exist alongside the deeds of those who saved the world 100 years ago." And there's a huge cheer and applause from the crowd. And the mayor hands the plaque and the microphone to Chief Koru, who just looks dumbstruck. He goes, "This is so wonderful, Madam Mayor. I know that Ketra and Nokru are resting peacefully in Gwen's great ocean now. We thank you all so much for this honor." And he hands back the microphone. And Glenda goes, there's a collections chest going through the crowd right now. I encourage everyone to give what they can for Chief Koru's family. I know it won't make up for the tragic loss of life, but it's the least we can do for you." And then she turns to you, Lenny, and goes, "And last but not least, when the second Raudar emerged into a crowded Hero Square and threatened to kill untold innocent people, this group of brave adventurers, most of whom only arrived in our fair city but a day or two ago, risked everything to contain the Raudar within the square and managed to kill the foul beast themselves. Good people of Hildnea, I present to you," and she starts just going down the line, "Velwyn, Celine, Dulcia, Reyna, Jack, Divok, Leaf, and of course their leader Barnabas, the heroes of Hero Square." And the crowd goes nuts.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. I grab her mic and pull it down to my. I just wanted to say a couple of quick things. Thank you, fine folks of this here beautiful town. I'm here to tell you it was our pleasure to help out. And I truly hope that, we as the heroes of Hildenea and you as the fine people who live here can just be great friends for the rest of our lives. But I want to point out one special person from my troop who, without their just, and I just kind of shake my head a little bit, just their pure crazy will, we wouldn't have been able to get it done. We wouldn't have got that Raudar. And I look over at Velwyn and I smile and I'm like, I want to personally thank that guy right there, Cedric.
The crowd kind of murmurs and looks confused because he was very clearly
Cedric,
just introduced as Velwyn.
Right there. Forget that other business, Cedric. If you want to get to know that guy right there, buy Cedric a drink. And I just give the mic back to the mayor.
Well said, hero. She turns to the crowd. We do understand that these heroes are leaving town this morning for further adventures. We wish them nothing but success and happiness. And we now give unto them, and she reaches into her pocket and pulls out a handful of really big brass keys. The ceremonial keys to the city of Hildenea, so that all will know they are always welcome in our good city and have our eternal gratitude. And she just hands the bundle to Devok and motions for him to distribute them. And then she says, we have one more surprise for you. And she motions to the crowd, if you please. And a female lizard folk wearing kind of just like a big oversized poncho steps forward into the open space. And her hands glow green, and she starts casting a spell. Are you proficient in Arcana, Lenny?
Ooh, that's a no, boss.
Boldar, are you proficient in Arcana? No. Either one of you can roll anyway to see if you can recognize the spell.
All right. In honor of Velwyn, I will roll my Velwyn dice.
Yay.
Ooh, Velwyn, you're killing me. That's a 5.
I got a 19.
Okay, Len, you have no idea what the spell is. Boldar, you know exactly what this spell is. This is Silent Image. And indeed, in just a few seconds, this lizard folk raises her hands, and in the air above the fountain appears a 15-foot wide, flat, rectangular group portrait of the 8 of you, all standing and kind of heroically looking off into the distance. And Lenny is smack dab in the center, and he has an arrow knocked into his short bow, and he's he's all like, yeah, looking badass. And it's a good likeness of you guys.
Yes.
All you guys in Dulcia. And she says, this mural will be painted on a wall of one of the buildings in Hero Square, so that we all may remember you heroic few who saved so many. Well, we don't want to delay your departure any further. And she turned to the crowd. She says, thank you all for coming, and thank you one more time to all of our valiant heroes. And the crowd cheers and applauds and starts to disperse.
Cedric.
Make a persuasion check.
Hell yeah, I'll make a persuasion check. Here we go. All right, not great, but not terrible. Persuasion, that's a 16.
16? Yeah, a good handful of people as they're leaving are chanting Cedric over their corner, over their shoulder.
Cedric. Perfect. Thank you.
Someone emerges from the crowd with a small chest, and they hand it to Chief Koru, who looks very grateful. Clancy walks up to you and holds his hands out wide. Turns out Mayor Goodberry heard that we would be leaving this morning and decided to make a big deal about it. And Dulcia comes up also, and she goes, that was amazing. I just came to see you guys off. I can't believe she included me. I got a key. I'm going to be in a mural. And Clancy claps her shoulder. Well, you deserve it. You all do. Now, if you follow me, our wagons await. Boldar?
This way.
Clancy leads you north past the fountain and out of the square. And parked on the side of the road, you see 2 large cargo wagons, like a good 15, 17 feet long, about 5 feet wide, 2 axles each, but the wheels are about 5 feet in diameter. These are big wheels, so the body of the wagon's almost 3 feet off the ground. It's got a square canvas roof stretched over a frame, and it's kind of cantilevered out over the front, where there's an open air driver's bench. Each of the wagons is painted that same red color as Clancy's overshirt, and it has his symbol painted on it as well. And each wagon is hitched to 4 really beefy looking oxen, like big, strong oxen boys. Sitting on the driver's bench of the nearest wagon is a chubby little gnome woman, mid-20s, short wavy blonde hair, splash of freckles across her nose. She's wearing glasses that are like a size or two too large for her face. She's pretty adorable. She's wearing a breastplate with a red tabard over it that has that same Clancy symbol on it. And she smiles. She's got dimples. She smiles down at you. And Clancy goes, allow me to introduce Daphne Fernseed, one of our drivers for this expedition. You've already met Boldor last night, our other driver.
I'm
Daphne
Boldor.
goes, nice to meet you, heroes. Good to see you again, Dulcia.
Yeah, how you doing?
And Clancy goes, Leaf, Boldor here is our second cleric for the journey. We'll have one of you riding in each wagon in case there's complications or we get separated. We'll have a healer in each team. He steps to the back of a wagon and pulls out some small bags that he starts distributing to everyone. Here are your provided provisions. In here are 10 days rations, 1 minor healing potion, and hopefully we never have to use them. And he pulls a stack of folded red garments that he also starts handing out to you. And they're red, like over tabards that have Clancy's symbol on them. And he says, and they're all like expertly sized to fit you guys. Like someone knew the right sizes for each of you. He says, as he's handing them out, if you're going to be working for me in this journey, I do ask that you wear my uniform. Except Leaf and Boldor, I won't ask a cleric to cover up their raiment. You're fine as is. And Dulcia steps up and she goes, I got you guys all something as well. And she reaches into this large, like oversized bag that she's been holding, and she starts pulling out crocheted scarves in a variety of colors. And she comes up to each of you and drapes a scarf around your neck and gives you a big hug. There's a blue scarf for Velwyn that matches his coat, orange for Raina that matches her eyes, white for Jack because he's all white. Brown for you, Lenny, to go with your leathers. Yellow for Celine to match your dress. Green for Divok to match his fronds. Gray for Boldar to match his skin. And finally, a black and blue one for Leaf that matches his Tempest tabard. And she says, I know it's going to be summer soon and you might not need a scarf, but maybe it'll keep you warm on a cold night and you can think of me. Geez, I know I just met you guys, but I'm really going to miss you. I hope you can all come back.
I definitely think that we'll be back. You know, there's just a something to this place. You know, it's kind of got a little piece of our hearts, and you know, I think we'll be back.
And she turns to Leaf and says, and you, don't forget, I need you to stay safe so you can come back and ask me out on a date in 5 years. And she leans him and gives him a kiss on the cheek, bit of a lingering kiss, and he like blushes. And she straightens back. She goes, maybe 3 years, and steps back. Clancy steps back forward. Okay, lead wagon to start. Let's go, Lenny. You can ride up front with Boldor driving. We'll have Raina, Jack, and Celine in that first one. second wagon, Devok, Velwyn, Leaf, and all right up front with Daphne. All right, let's pile in and get the show on the road.
Yeah.
And there's like a little ladder that Letty can climb up to get in the shotgun seat. I want to call it the shotgun seat, but shotguns don't exist in this world, so we'll call it the crossbow.
I have a hand crossbow seat.
Yes, the crossbow seat.
Hell yeah.
So everyone else gets in the backs of the wagons, and you head out. And you're heading towards Stonefort, trying to find the shipment that got lost coming from Stonefort to Hildenea. Stonefort is to the east, about 170 miles. But you start by heading north out of town, kind of towards where the spa was, that big dome spa that was nestled at the bottom of this big, huge hill that overlooks North Hildenea. Mm-hmm. And so you head towards that hill, and you start actually going up the hill. And not straight up, it's too steep for that, but it's like a series of switchbacks that goes up the side of this hill. And there are, at the higher up you go, the less buildings and houses there are, but there's like charming little cottages, nice little houses. And you ascend the hill, and eventually you come towards the top of the hill, and you kind of come around this curve, and the wagon then turns to the east as you crest it. And you see ahead of you, the road splits here, with part of it heading north and then part of it continuing east. And just after it splits to the east, it passes through the upturned spines of a gargantuan rib cage, reaching up out of the ground of the hill, 15 feet maybe tall. And Clancy woes the lead wagon, and you all come to a stop. And he goes, "Everyone out, I wanted to show you something."
Okay.
And he leads you over to the side of the road. And right before the rib cage, there's a small stone podium that has a metal plaque embedded into the top of it. And he reads it out loud. "On this hill, the great and noble golden dragon, Xanthos, gave his life during the Raudarian War to protect the city of Hildenea by single-handedly engaging the entire gathered Raudar army. Xanthos' sacrifice delayed the Raudar's assault on Hildenea, giving Illyria and Baub enough time to enact their plan to destroy the dread Archon and end the war." And Clancy goes, "We could have gone straight east out of town, saved a bit of time, but I wanted you all to see this. I know this is most of your first time here in Sildaria, and I wanted you to really get your first look at it. Good first look. Take a moment, take it all in." And he gestures, 360 degrees around you. And to the south, you see the city of Hildenea at the bottom of this very steep hill, bisected by the Skoga River. And then to the west, you see the ocean stretching out to the horizon, glinting in the morning sun. A couple of sailing ships making their way up and down the coast. To the north, you see that road heads through kind of rolling, hilly grasslands that eventually leads into some woods a couple of miles up. To the northeast, about 45, 50 miles away, you see the looming shape of Mount Belagaros, with its bizarre peak that is detached and independently rotating slowly in the air above it. There's some more minor peaks stretching north away from Mount Belagaros, forming the Vinstry mountain range. And then to the east, the road passes through this rib cage and then starts gently sloping downward. And you see it heads down parallel to the river, and it starts winding through a few miles of farmland. And way past the fields and orchards, you're way up high, so this is probably like 8 miles away or so. You see this very dense forest, hill after hill of thick forest that goes off into the distance. And here and there, way off in the distance in this forest, you swear you can see some patches that are radiating different colors, a pink or a purple, and other patches that seem to be shrouded in strange darkness. And Clancy goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cesaria. Welcome to the weirdness. Let's head out. Our goal is to make it to the Hotel Riviera by nightfall."
DM,
Yeah,
can I do a little quick something?
whenever you want.
Okay, cool. So, somewhere in that spiel slash taking things in, how close would you say we are to any given rib?
You're about 10 feet away from the closest
Okay.
rib.
All right. So, I would like to inconspicuously see if I can gather from one of these ribs about, I'd say, a foot long chunk by about
You want to
maybe.
like take a knife and shave some off?
I want a foot long chunk by about 2 or 3 inches wide of this rib.
Okay. First, make a stealth check.
All right.
Yeah, there's 10 people or
Yeah.
around you, so
I get it. I get it.
9
11,
people.
I think.
It's gonna be. It's only gonna be a 21.
That's pretty good. I'll say nobody actually noticed you. You kind of slip away behind them as everyone's focusing on
So
Clancy reading this plaque.
I want to be kind of clear about this. When I get away, and I know that I perceive myself to be hidden or like out of sight, his goal is not to desecrate this, right? More, this is like incredibly respectful-ish, if it could be. I'm very like he's taken in the history and the lesson of the land and all that stuff from Clancy. Um, is there a piece of this that's weathered enough that like it could
It's
be procured without like destroying it like in a
so
bad way?
this dragon died 100 years ago, almost exactly. These bones look immaculate, almost.
Wow.
Like they are super well preserved.
Okay, then I'm gonna change what I'd like.
Sure.
Then I'm just gonna take a tiny like 2 by 2 square piece. If I can't get it, that's fine. But
Okay.
that's what I want.
So you raise your knife. I'm assuming you're using a knife.
Yeah. And I'm gonna like while I'm doing it, I'm gonna like just say in my head, I'm not trying to desecrate this. I respect everything that you did. I just would like to honor you with a future project that I think this would be really cool for.
Okay. You put your knife up to it, and the whole rib instantly flashes green, and your knife does not penetrate. And there's a brief sound as it flashes green, and everyone kind of turns and looks at you. They don't notice the knife in your hand.
Inspecting this, the story was so cool. I had to get closer and actually touch it for myself. Wow.
Everyone just kind of nods and turns back to Clancy as he finishes reading the.
Can I?
I'll just.
Oh yeah, insight check.
Ooh, I don't know if that's going to be good.
Roll a deception, Lenny.
It's only going to be a 15.
I got 21.
That's a 15.
Boldar,
I'm lying out my ass.
Yeah, Lenny's lying about something.
I give him like a little look, cross arm, like a disapproving parent.
This giant Goliath looking down at this little goblin.
What? I just kind of huff and puff a little bit, and I go back to my seat.
That's funny. I actually had that in my notes in case you tried that.
Busted.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Busted.
so Clancy tells everyone to mount back up. So Lenny and Boldar, you're in the driver's seat of the first wagon as it heads down the hill into these farmlands.
I knew you were lying, Lenny. It's very bad of you to do.
Hey man, I was just trying to procure some golden dragon bone so that I could make a badass dagger down the road.
You could have asked for the first.
I kind of did, but maybe
my
they
head.
weren't listening. But maybe they weren't listening.
Maybe you should vocalize it more. Like,
You know, you might be right. You might be right. I just kind of give him a little nudge with my arm, and I like pull my little flask out, and I just take a drink
Okay, you still have some whiskey in there from yesterday.
as we
Not
kind
ver-
of clank
Not
down
very
the
much.
road.
You got pretty trashed yesterday.
Yeah.
I like pat his back approvingly, but like a pat is like sends him a little forward.
It almost knocks him forward into the oxen.
You're
I won't make you
alright,
make a
Lenny.
dexterity saving throw. You're fine. So you head down into these farmlands, and it's a series of like small family farms. It's not like big industrial farming. It's quaint cottages and barns, little irregular stone walls separating properties, all sorts of vegetables, lettuces, cabbages, some corn. It's springtime, so it's not really pickable. There's some wheat growing here and there. And the road eventually makes its way back over to the river itself and joins the road that's coming directly out of the city. So now you have the river directly on your right side on the south, and these farms on your left. One interesting thing you do all notice is that about every half mile to mile scattered throughout these fields is one of those is a watchtower on stilts about 30 feet off the ground. It's just like one you saw on the south end of town when the town's guard killed that first Raudar. So these are interspersed throughout the fields every half mile to mile. So after a few miles, the farmlands kind of just peter out, and there's empty grassy fields full of a lot of stumps and a smattering of wildflowers in them, blues and yellows and purples. And this is probably where a lot of the lumber that was used to build Hildenea was taken from. And eventually, about 8 miles out of town, you come upon the edge of the forest. And the road splits again, with one road kind of peeling off to the northeast, heading directly towards Mount Beligaros, and the other continuing along the north bank of the river into the forest. And this is the Saranan Woods. It's mainly evergreen trees, mostly fir, some pine. There's I would say, the smattering of maple trees and like white birch trees. There's some low underbrush in this first part of the woods, at least.
So it's a
And lots of
deciduous forest.
sorry.
It's a deciduous forest.
It's a mostly an evergreen forest with smatterings of deciduous.
Mostly a conifer.
Mostly conifers, yeah.
Might be.
There's like lots of beds of needles and a fallen tree here or there. It's a pretty wide road. It's probably 25 feet wide. It's well traveled. It's not paved or bricked or anything. It's just dirt, but
The best kind.
Can I collect some pine needles in my newfound little box that I got?
sure, yeah, there's
All right.
fallen pine needles all over the
All right,
place.
I'm gonna stuff that bitch full of pine needles.
Throughout the day, whenever a wagon passes going the other direction, Clancy hails them and has them come to a stop. And he holds out one of the little pieces of sparkly stone, and he asks, where they've come from, if they've seen any wagons hauling this stone, or bearing his symbol on them, or if he's seen like any of these stones on the side of the road, maybe, or anything like that. And he's done this a couple of times now, and no one has seen anything. There's like farmers hauling stuff through the woods, a couple of people hauling pieces of lumber through the woods, things like that, but no one seems to have seen anything. Midday, you're about 4 miles into the forest, we'll say. You pull off to the side of the road for lunch. Another wagon coming in the opposite direction also pulls over, and Clancy goes over and asks them again, to no avail. It's a beautiful place to stop, though. Fir trees are spreading out overhead, so it's nice and shady. And the wide river, still almost a mile wide at this point, is just kind of gently flowing by. Daphne gets out and gets some buckets for some water for the oxen and passes them out to like Bivok and Reyna and Boldar, the stronger looking people in the party, and has you all fetch some water from the river, make sure they're eating as well. Another wagon comes and stops, pulls over. Seems like it's a pretty common midday rest stop.
Mm-hmm.
Clancy goes over and asks them, have you seen the stone? Have you seen any of my wagons anywhere? And they're coming from the east, and they say it's like a middle-aged human couple, and with like a younger guy, probably 19, 20, who has a crossbow sitting up in the crossbow seat. And they're like, no, we haven't seen anything like that. Are you guys going to the Hotel Riviera? I'm like, yes, of course. You might not want to actually stay there. We just came from there. There's lots of talk about some weirdness going on there. So we didn't even sleep inside. We just slept on the grounds. What kind of weirdness? I don't know. Voices, weird lights, just all spooky stuff. We didn't want to fuck with that. So we just slept on the grounds and left first thing in the morning. All right. Thanks for the info. And Celine goes and stands right up next to the river and is looking out at it. She's like, it's been years since I've been back to Soldaria. It's just like I remember it.
It's pretty nifty.
Mm-hmm.
Anything from Boldar?
Hold up. I'm brain blasting. Hold up. I had like a brain fart. Okay. Boldar is gonna have 2 buckets filled and look at her with a tilted head and speak up and say, the last time? Why did you ever leave?
She says, I'm from the original Yonti colony that's in the inland fjords just north of Stonefort. My parents died 8 years ago, and I left. I went to the continent of Orantur and joined a mage academy, and I haven't been back since. But I've graduated now, and it's time to go home. That's why one of the reasons why I'm on this journey is it'll take me pretty close.
Is there anything you're scared about? Changes?
I was 14 when I left. I have no idea what's happened since I've been gone. I'm scared it'll be different. I'm scared it'll be the same.
Well, what they taught me at the temple is this. Life is much like the ground and soil and rocks that are under our feet, on the cliffs and on the mountains. Eventually, it'll erode and make way for new life and new paths and new journeys. This is life, and that is okay.
She kind of punches your shoulder. Thanks, Boldar.
Do you want some dirt? I'm just kidding. May the rock be with you. What was that character's name again? One more time.
Celine,
Celine.
the Yonti female Yonti wizard.
Okay. He says after that, kind of follows up. Do you mind taking one of these? And holds out a bucket if she doesn't have anything in hand.
Okay. She only has a strength of 8, so she'll be struggling up behind you.
Come on. You got to be prepared for those changes in your homeland.
All right.
And it's in the legs. Don't use your back. Your legs. And he like
And she's
her.
like giggling as she does it. She knows you're having some fun with her, and she's down with it.
I think at that point, Boldar kind of want to make his way back. He doesn't want to leave his 2 favorite oxes.
You get 4 oxen. 4 oxen per wagon.
Oh, excuse me.
These are big wagons.
A huge wagon. Oh my god. Yeah, he heads back to camp after that.
Cool.
Oh.
Lenny, anything you want to do during lunch?
I think if Boldar has any time left over before we head out again, I would just maybe I'd just sit down next to him. Be like, so you said you staying at the temple, what kind of temple? Like what are you into, man?
He's gonna
he's got the Earth domain symbol on his chest, and you say, "What are you into, man?"
Lenny don't know shit about religion.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
He's gonna look at you with the most deadpan face, holding kind of like an off-colored piece of like what you think is rock. And he is like in mid bite of it. He goes, "Pardon me, I don't like eating while I have conversation." And he's gonna put it into like a little like napkin thing. And he says, "What I'm into and what I am is here. This." And he points and gestures to the ground. "I am a cleric of the earth domain, and not to be confused with the nature. They are our kinfolk, but they are not like us. We appreciate and protect the ground and soil beneath our feet. That is what we do. It is also quite cool during the summer. Subterranean levels, you know."
Yeah, I could see how that would be, really useful. Cool. Good talk. I'm Lenny. I'm
Hi, Lenny.
I'm kind of
you
like
hear
the de facto leader.
Velwyn shouts out, "Barnabas!"
No, there, Cedric. No.
Is that your
No.
middle name? I'm very confused.
It's a thing. We're gonna have a couple of ales maybe down the road when Velwyn's not being a little bitch, and we'll talk about it. All right.
Okay.
But till then, anyways, I'm really glad you're joining us. You seem like a really cool cat. I'm interested in getting to know more about you on our trip. So if you wouldn't mind, while we're sitting up there, if you want to just chat about stuff, you just let me know. I might be like whittling on some things on the way, but I'm listening. I promise I'm listening.
Do do you want some of my nutritious clay?
Appreciate the offer, friend, but I'm gonna eat this here beef jerky stick that I got going on.
It's full of vitamins. It's quite great for gut health. It has
I
minerals and anything for a
appreciate
growing goblin like you.
I appreciate that very much, and maybe you and I can market that. In the next place we're going to, maybe we could turn it into like a tincture or like a supplement or something, and just make a killing.
A killing of what? Are we gonna murder
Like
something?
no, like a killing. Making coin. Money.
Oh,
Yeah, and I jingle
monetary
my
gain.
coin purse.
You see, as much as I understand that to live life you must have money, I do not. I don't really believe in monetary I don't believe in monetary gains. I live with what I have and what is given, and that's how I go through life.
That is very admirable. Totally awesome. And, I am really big on people living their truths and doing what they want to do with their lives. So, how about this? You live to fulfill yourself, and I'll live to fulfill my coin purse. How about that?
Are you okay, Lenny? Do you
He-
use monetary gains to fill the void in life in which others haven't given to you? Have you found true enlightenment through the things that you perform every day?
Look, I am enlightened as they come, friend. I would like to be encumbered with some more coin.
Lenny, as you say that, you feel this strange sensation, and you look down, and uh, your clothes are filthy. Just all of a sudden,
Nice try. Nice try.
you hear Celine and Velwyn kind of giggling about 10 feet behind you.
Is that prestidigitation?
They prestidigitated him.
Well, anyways, good talk. Good talk. We're gonna get on the road again. We'll do more of this. More of this me and you stuff there, Boldar.
We're gonna go right over there. We can keep talking.
I mean,
Don't
sure
run away from
thing.
your problems. It's okay.
I don't run, I just do. I don't run, I do.
Okay. If you
Really,
say
there's nothing
so.
wrong here. I'm doing fine, fella. I promise. And I just kind of pat him on the calf.
Well, more nutritious clay for me.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
All right, you guys eventually finish your lunch and mount back up. Lenny and Boldar in the front of the first caravan, Daphne and Clancy in the front of the second caravan. You head on further through the woods. Everyone, start making perception checks. Each of you make a perception check for me to see if you spot anything suspicious along the side of the road, because it's time to start looking out for stuff.
I perceive at a 17.
Okay,
I too got a 17.
nice. Well, you don't see any suspicious sparkling stones on the side of the road or anything. It looks pretty much like a normal forest. It's getting close to dinner time. We'll say it's about 5 o'clock. You guys have gone almost 20 miles, we'll say, from when you left Hildenea. So it's another probably 5 more miles till you get to the hotel. Actually, you know what? I'm going to share screen again real quick. I have a map here. So you started in Hildenea, and about 25 miles is this first dot. That's the Hotel Riviera, and then the town of Fintonpire is over here, and Stonefort is way over here. And here's the inland fjords that Celine is from. And here's Mount Bellegaros and all that. So we can just have this map up while we continue.
Oh, okay. I like it.
So you're about 5 miles from the Hotel Riviera. With a 17, you both faintly swear. You're not sure, but it could have been giggling. I'm going to roll for some of my people here.
Okay. Bolar is gonna speak up and kind of nudge Lenny a little bit. What was so funny?
Oh, jeez. All right. Muted?
You're muted.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm just over here like carving things. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Shh.
You definitely hear it this time. It's like high-pitched giggling.
What the hell was that?
Can I?
Would I? Yeah, I was just about to say, would either of us be able to make a check to see if we have any?
I got nature.
Yeah, you
thoughts
can make a
about this?
nature check or maybe a history check if you want.
History
Or just a straight up intelligence check.
Yeah, they're all +0, so sure thing.
All right.
19 for nature.
Hey, that's a 12.
It's not bad.
So, Boldar, you know that there are some strong fey presences in this forest.
Oh,
I fucking knew it. Knew it.
And this
God
sounds like
damn.
it might be some fey giggling.
Fucking little fey motherfuckers.
And this is still the Saranen Woods, right?
Saranen Woods, yes.
Saranen Woods, okay. Okay. Well, this is to be expected.
Yeah, we should not make deals with fey. Like, you don't make deals with fey. Like, say it with me now, Boldar. No deals.
No deals.
Right.
What if the deal's good though?
That's the point, and then you die.
From
or you become a servant for the rest of your life.
From the north, from the forest, kind of sloping down towards the road at this point, you feel a breeze pick up, and it starts to get stronger and stronger.
Is it getting drafty in here?
Clancy,
you hear from behind you Clancy call out, "Whoa, everyone, whoa!" And the wagon behind you guys comes to a halt as Daphne pulls on the reins. Be on guard!
I will ready my hand crossbow.
Who's guard and where do I have to be on him?
Love it.
I'm only a little naive.
May I make a perception check?
Yes, both of you may make perception checks if you like.
Yeah. I didn't see shit.
It's not that great. That is going to be perception check. That is going to be a 15, sir.
15?
I got a 9.
All right.
15.
A 15, you're looking the direction the wind is coming from, down the hill from the north. It's getting stronger and stronger, and it's hard to see because it's a pretty thick forest, but through over the top of the hill, you swear you see something sparkly and purpley start to crest into this part of the forest.
Like size wise, what are we talking about here?
It's getting bigger and bigger, 20, 30, 40 feet wide, 10, 15 feet tall. It looks like sparkly purple fog, and it's starting to just speed its way towards you guys. And now it's not giggling, it's full on laughter.
Oh, we're gonna have a bad time. This is gonna be a bad time. We got nowhere to go, right? There's like,
This thing, so your wagons front to back are about 15 feet each,
Yeah.
so that's 30 feet. There's 10 feet between your wagons. There's a space for all the oxen. So
kinda
you're probably stretching out like 50 feet here.
We're hosed.
This thing is now wider than you guys, and
Super
a good
hosed.
20, 30 feet tall, and it's just pouring through the forest at you.
Oh,
You have, I'll say you have about 6 seconds before it gets to you.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, I feel like we're about to get into some shit here, Boldor.
What are you talking about? I don't even see anything.
And I just I grab him
Down
and
towards
I
the river.
turn him.
What is that?
I don't know what that is.
And whoosh, it washes over you. And while you're in it, you can hear tinkling. It's not music, it's just like this weird sparkly sound effect. Your eyes are just full of sparkles. You can't see more than 10 feet away from you. Make a
bedazzled hellscape.
A wisdom saving throw for me, please.
Oh,
wow.
shit.
I'm pretty good at that, hopefully.
I don't think I'm good at that at all.
Oh, even with that. Wisdom.
Okay, that's not so bad. That's not so bad.
14.
That's a 19.
Okay. All right. Boldar, you're real happy. This is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Lenny,
this is not cool.
I think that I think that we need to drive our wagons like out of here.
Why? Pretty nice.
No,
Pretty nice.
no, not nice. Nope, not nice. This is malice. This is malicious. This is not good.
No.
We need to leave now.
You hear like the Nelson from The Simpsons laugh, like really loud.
Oh, now this is getting fucked up. Hey, I got an idea.
Mm-hmm.
How about you and I switch places for just a little bit? I would love to see what it's like to drive this wagon. If you could just switch spots with me.
I'm contractually obligated to be the driver. I would let you drive.
I will persuade him to let me drive this cart.
Both of you make a Constitution save for me, please.
Oh shit! Okay.
Oh fuck!
That's not gonna go well.
It
might go well. That's a +3 for. That's another 19, 16 on the die.
That's a 13.
Okay. Lenny again saves. Boldar does not. Lenny, you feel something kind of like, it feels like the purple fog is like trying to get into you, and you like kind of like steel yourself and muscle it out, kind of, and it doesn't seem to have any effect on you.
It's killer.
I don't like it. 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 I don't like it.
From head to toe, you and all of your clothes, your eyes, your fingernails, your lips, your teeth, you assume your internal organs turn bright purple.
What?
I'm purple?
You're entirely purple now. And then as quickly as it's gone, whoosh, the fog just vanishes. It just moves off into the river and it evaporates.
Huh. Do I look different?
Does he look different?
Clancy comes trotting up beside you guys. completely purple. Everyone okay?
Why are you purple?
Welcome to the weirdness. And he trots back to his wagon.
I guess you can say I'm.
And from inside the wagon, the people who were riding with you, it was Celine and Jack and Raina. Poke forward, and Celine is completely purple. The other two saved. And she is not happy about this. She looks really upset.
So was this like a joke, or are you gonna turn into like an undead and try to eat me in my sleep?
I could already feel the change, Lenny. I think I have to eat you now.
Why does everybody insist on
Ooh.
giving me maximum amounts of shit lately when things are going down?
Lenny, make a perception check for me.
Sure thing. Perception, that's going to be pretty good. That's going to be a 22.
22. You hear, as if somebody's whispering into your ear, "Lighten up, dude. It was just a joke."
Your fucking jokes scare me, all right?
Boldar did not hear that.
Are you okay?
Nope.
Are you talking to somebody?
Yeah, I was. How about we drive this wagon out of here?
Yeah, you hear from the wagon behind you. "Let's keep moving. Losing time."
Oh, boss says to go. Come on.
I do not unready my crossbow.
Boldar, roll a d4 for me, please.
I got a 3.
Okay. So you stop for dinner about an hour later. Boldar and Clancy and Celine and Leaf, it turns out, and Daphne are all purple. Everyone else is fine. You don't seem to notice any other ill effects. You have a dinner on the side of the road. Again, it seems to be a place where a lot of people have pulled over and rested. Another wagon comes from the east, and Clancy goes, "Oh, geez." But he gets out his stone, which has not turned purple, and he approaches them, and they pull over, and they go, "Oh, weirdness, huh?" Clancy goes, "Don't we know it?" And he goes through the spiel. "Where are you from? Have you seen a stone? Have you seen any of my wagons?" I'm like, "Nope. Don't recommend you stay at the Hotel Riviera tonight, though, if you can. Weirdness." And they continue on.
Right.
All right. You finish lunch, or you finish dinner, and then an hour later, whoop, you're back to normal color. As if it was one of those bad movie special effects where one frame it's purple, and then the next frame it's normal.
You could have just said the shrooms wore off. It's fine.
A little audible pop too, like
yeah, yeah, it's a little like a bubble popped.
That's chef's kiss right there.
That's great.
Lenny, to be completely honest, I don't even think it was purple. I think it was an indigo.
I don't really give a shit what color it was. That was weird.
I think that's why they call it the weirdness. Duh. Lenny, you're a little slow on these things, aren't you?
I don't dignify that with an answer.
Pat his head.
Like a dejected child, I just yanked my head away.
A couple hours later, you notice up ahead, I'd say it's starting to get, sun's starting to set. It's probably about, you left shortly after 8, kind of tarried in town for a while. It's getting close to 8 in the evening, 7:30ish, we'll say. Sunset's about 8:30 this time of year, or maybe even 8:45. I'd have to check my calendar. I actually made a calendar for this world. I'm a nerd. You notice in the river up ahead, you're coming upon what looks like an island out in the middle of the river. A pretty big one and pretty far out of the river, like 20, 25 feet. And it's jutting up and is flat on the top. And as you're getting closer, you see that there's a pretty big looking building in the middle of this island. And there's like a small stone wall surrounding the entire island, probably only about 3 feet tall, 3, 4 feet tall.
Decorative as opposed to keep out, kind of.
Yeah, more probably to keep people from falling over the edge into the river.
Fair.
As you're heading along the path, you notice that there is a bridge to your right now, coming from the path over the river to this island. It looks like it's a very sturdy stone bridge with lots of pylons going down into the river. Very wide, again, probably 20 feet wide. And Clancy has you guys turn to the right and head on in. There's a gate at the start of the island, but it's open. So you guys, Clancy has everyone come on in. And you notice there are a couple of other wagons parked here and there on the grounds. And before you is it's not a castle, it's more like a manor. It's 3 stories tall. And it looks like it's a big central building, kind of Victorian style, with 2 wings that go off kind of diagonally back away from you guys. It's
like a continental estate.
Yeah, like a continental estate, kind of.
Okay.
It looks very nice. It's pretty fancy. It looks like it could be 100 years old, maybe, but probably less. It doesn't look. This continent was only discovered 200 years ago, so no buildings on it are older than that. But this one looks like it probably was built within the last 100 years. Clancy calls out, "All right, everyone, let's park and head on in."
This is the hotel?
This is the Hotel Riviera. We're staying the night here.
I wonder who Riviera is.
Celine leans over to you, Boldhart, and says, "I think that's just a fancy way of saying river. It's a hotel on a river."
Oh, okay.
Boldhart, what is your intelligence? Your intelligence is 13, Boldhart.
I know, I'm pretty smart, but I like to be a little silly.
Yeah, that's fine. No one else knows that you're smart.
No. That's a secret for later.
So as you guys are getting out of the wagons, you hear a young female voice say, "Tempest Cleric, you're a long way from the shore." And you look, and there's 2 humans standing next to their parked wagon nearby. And it's an older middle-aged man and younger, late teenager, early 20s maybe, woman. Dark skin, black curly hair, wearing simple clothes. Their wagon is very small. It looks to be loaded up with some sort of produce. And the young woman was looking at Leaf, and he looks down at a symbol and goes, "Oh, yeah, we don't usually go this far from the shore. It's true. I'm on a kind of a mission, though." And she goes, "Oh, that's cool. That's cool. You guys should be careful, though. Everyone's been talking about some weird stuff going on here." And Clancy steps forward and goes, "We've heard that too. Do you have any specifics?" And the middle-aged man steps forward and goes, "We haven't seen it ourselves, but people who stayed here last night said there were lots of strange noises coming from inside the house. Someone said they saw a lantern looked like, or a torch walking the grounds, and when they looked at it, it disappeared, and there was no one there. So we're all keeping guard on our wagons tonight. We're not leaving them unattended. So suggest you guys do the same, probably. Clancy goes, well, we need to say hello to the lady of the hotel at any rate. And you can see he's kind of like miffed at this for some reason. And
Like, does he look like bothered or like put off in any way since we've shown up? Like,
make an insight check.
worried? Not great. Not great. It's going to be a 14.
Okay. You get this weird feeling that Clancy was looking forward to coming here, and now this is kind of like a problem he didn't want to have to deal with.
Okay.
Like you go to Disneyland and your favorite ride is shut down.
Damn it. Got it.
It's like, I'm glad I'm here, but this is not what I was hoping for, kind of thing. So Clancy says, Leaf, Devok, why don't you two stay? Daphne too, if you want to. Why don't you two stay out here with the wagons for now? We're gonna go check in the hotel. And they're like, sure. Devok's like, sounds good. There's some nice dirt out here. I'll root myself for a little bit. And he stands in this piece of dirt, and Boldar, you see his wooden toes just curl into the earth. He's like, yeah, that's the stuff.
That's some nice dirt.
So you would appreciate that.
It's very nice.
Is there any like other patrons coming or going from this place, or is it just us?
Since you've come into this front yard, we'll call it, you haven't seen anyone come in or out of the front doors. Both wings, the upper stories, there's no lights in any of the windows. There's like one light in the bottom floor on the left side, and like one window way at the far end on the right side is lit up. But the front windows of the main central portion are all lit up.
Okay.
Clancy leads you to the doors. How much more time can you guys stay tonight?
I got just a little bit.
Okay. Mm-hmm. He leads you to the front doors. It's these big, kind of fancy double doors, and he pushes them open and steps in. And this foyer is pretty big and spacious. And there is a staircase in the middle of it leading up to a little landing, and then it splits off, and half of it goes to the left and half of it goes to the right. And behind the landing, there's a big stained glass window. And also on the landing, there's like this suit of plate armor standing there. And there's torches, but it's not real fire. It's like glowing, obviously magic. That's lit up this whole place. And this entire foyer is 3 stories tall. The ceiling is way 30 feet up there. And so this whole central building basically is just a foyer. And you hear from the top of the stairs to the right, Clancy Castle. And stepping down the stairs, you see an elf woman, pale skin, long silver hair, that's very nicely made up. It's pulled back. It's got some braids in it, and it's fancy. She's wearing what would almost be like a ball gown. It's a really nice long dress with a train off the shoulders, poofy. She looks dressed up like she's going to some important state dinner or something. She looks fancy.
Is there any way to infer that this is intentional because she knew he would be here, or?
You can make an insight check if you want.
Sure, we're changing the dice.
Okay.
That was a poor choice there, Cotton. Poor choice. That's a 13.
She's got kind of a coy look on her face, but you're not sure if she was expecting this visit or if it's a nice surprise or what she's thinking.
Got it.
And she sweeps down the staircase, and she has like a folded fan in one hand. It's very big, but she's not like fanning herself or anything. And she says as she's sweeping down the staircase, "I have not seen you in quite some time, Clancy Castle." And she gets to the foyer, or the landing between where all the stairs meet next to the suit of armor. And she stops there. And Clancy turns to you all and says, "May I introduce the lady of the hotel, Lady Elga Ladwin of the Hotel Riviera." And he bows super low and like kind of like motions for you all to do the same. And
I do my best Game of Thrones bow.
And Elga Ladwin goes, "You old charmer, get up here." And Clancy trots up the stairs so that he's on the landing with her and takes her hand and bows again and gives it a kiss. And she kind of giggles a little bit at this. "How have you been, old friend?" "Oh, it's much better to be back in your radiant presence, my lady." And she'd like, "Stop it. Welcome, everyone, to the Hotel Riviera. I'm afraid you've come at a rather inopportune time. I'm the only one in the building this evening. The rest of the staff is too scared by some weirdness we've been having. I understand if you wouldn't want to, but you're more than welcome to stay in any of the rooms on the that would be the eastern wing, which would be the left as you guys came in." And Clancy says, "We heard strange noises, voices, strange lights." She goes, "That's about the gist of it. My valets, my cook, my groundskeepers, none of them are willing to stay in the building right now. It's been like this for 2 nights now." And Clancy like straightens up and is like looks all heroic. "We won't let a little weirdness scare us away from the Hotel Riviera," and turns to you guys. "Right, everyone?"
Mm, will it turn me purple again?
And Celine is like, "Sure, right, yeah." And she
Oh.
like tries to get all of you to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Question.
Yep.
Yes.
You said that there wasn't anybody staying, but there was 2 rooms lit on either wing.
Oh, that's the kitchen and my own personal room.
Ah, okay. Just making sure.
Never mind.
I would offer you a refreshment, a treat. As I said, my valets and my cook have fled the building, so I'm afraid I don't have much to offer you. We could go in the kitchen, and I could try to scrounge you up something if you like. And Clancy's like, "No, no, don't trouble yourself, my lady." And he turns to you guys. "Does anyone know how to whip up anything real quick?"
I would
Anyone?
love to.
He kind of narrows his eyes at you, Lenny, and goes, "All right, Lenny, why don't you whip up some food for us?"
Can I
And
help you?
Absolutely, you can help me.
Elga Ladwin goes, "Use anything you like in there." And boy, Clancy, I couldn't get the word out for some reason. Trots back over to the big double doors and opens them back up and calls out, "Daphne, Divok, why don't you bring in the shipment?" And he turns back to Elga Ladwin and says, "I didn't come empty-handed, of course. I brought something for you that I think you might like. You okay there, Lenny?
I hear it too.
I don't know. That was a really weird noise. I'm gonna go check that out. I'll be right back.
It was the weirdness. It was the weirdness.
I heard it too. Don't worry.
Oh, you did?
It was like,
Yeah, I don't know what that was. That was crazy.
your dog is
I'll be right
probably
back.
barking if you have a
Okay.
dog.
Probably. I'll be right back.
Well, it's just the two of us. We can make it if we try. So,
I'm just about to wrap it up.
oh, okay. Ooh, what'd you make?
Noodle soup.
Mmm. Oh my goodness. I think what I'm trying to go for is not that I'm not intelligent, but like a rock, I'm very slow.
Okay. It's funny. It's funny.
As long as it's funny. As long as it's funny. I really like your map, though.
Thanks.
Did you make it in Donjon?
No, what is incarnate is what I used.
Ooh. Do you use Donjon, though? Because
No,
I
I've never
love...
used it.
You should. It's good. I like it.
I've only made a couple of maps though, so
It's pretty cool, though. I like it. So, okay. DM question, though.
Sure.
In... I can't see it, but where would we be in retrospect to everything?
So you're at this dot.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Holy shit, we have so many other dots to go to.
Yeah, Fintonpire. You have this little dot, this dot, this dot, this dot, this dot, and then there's Stonefort over here.
And then Stokefort, okay.
There's also the little town of Gregory up here. More dots.
Okay.
Everything okay,
All right.
Tony?
Yeah, I don't know what that was. That was fucking
Okay.
really weird.
So, in short order, Daphne and Divok come in and they're pushing on these little glowing floating discs to big barrels. And Clancy opens the top of one of it and takes out a pinch and does this with it. And El Galadwin goes, "Is that?" And Clancy goes, "That's right, brown sugar. Something sweet for my sweetheart." And she puts the fan in front of her face and you can hear her laughing. "Well, have them move it into the kitchen. Thank you very much, Mr. Clancy Castle." "My pleasure, my lady." So you guys, Lenny and Boldar, head into the kitchen and you can make any food you want, but we'll find out what it is next time because we're going to end tonight's episode here at the Hotel Riviera.
It's always
Hotel River.
so fun. The weirdness is super fun.
I turned purple today.
I did a few silly things today and almost got killed stealing dragon bones.
It's just magically force fielded
It's
so
all
that
good.
no harm can come to them. It's an important monument.
Fair. All right,
Very
guys. Well, thank you so much for playing tonight. That was
Yeah, thank you so much for playing my game.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
so,
I'm glad you're here. I like Boldar a lot.
woo!
I hope.
All right, guys. Say goodnight. I think I'm gonna do the thing.
Okay, cool.
Until next time.
See you later, Andy.
That is definitely not the thing.
That was a thing.
That was a thing.
That makes sense, though.
How about this one?
Thank you
so much for tuning in to another Vibe Tribe production. What's gonna happen next time? Well, you're gonna have to tune in to find out. But until then, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, and as always, make sure that you keep the good times rolling. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time.